Hello friends, welcome to your only channel Scala Express. Today we will discuss about classes. In our previous video, we have covered Scala collection, and in this session we will focus on Scala classes, how we can use and what we can define inside as classes members. Class is a blueprint for objects. Once you define class, you can create objects from the class blueprints with the keyword new. And that's how we define classes in Scala. Right now, I have kept no member function inside it. In order to define object of this class, we need to use new keyword and with class name. And this will give us object of this vehicle class. Now we will define vehicle class members. In this vehicle class, I'm defining wheel, and by default, I'm keeping 4. And likewise, we can instantiate 2 objects out of this class. So here, I'm creating one object as car, another one as metro. If you notice in above example, we have defined wheel is equal to 4, but in case of metro, we need more number of wheels. So now we will mutate this variable value. Since it is var, I think Scala will be fine with it. So let's try. So I'm defining here metro.wheel is equal to 300, and Scala said mutated metro.wheel. So it is completely fine with Scala. Now moving on. Now what if we reassign another instance into the defined variable called metro? So here Scala compiler will give us error called reassignment to well, because well is immutable, so we cannot reassign here. So far we have seen default variable member of this class. Right now we will convert this default or public type variable as private. And why do we need private? So I have interesting story to tell you. Let's suppose one day, after completing successful day, our metro train was relaxing and it was having a tiresome day. And that time, one metro cleaner person came named Aditya, and he was the cleaner for this metro. Now since he was poor and greedy as well, he took out 4 wheels from our metro train. Now he sold off in market and he got some money. So to tackle this kind of problem, Scala gives us keyword private, so it cannot be accessed by anybody outside the class. Now if you see an example here, metro.wheels earlier was having 300 vehicles, if you see here. But now, since Aditya stole 4 wheels out of this metro, it got 296. And after mutating message, we can print metro.wheels number as well. So it is now 296. Now next day, when Aditya came with same idea to steal 4 again new wheels, since we have defined our class members as private now, Aditya got nothing. And Scala in fact shouted on him that variable wheels in class vehicle cannot be accessed as a member of vehicle from class. So that means we have defined this vehicle member function as private. It cannot be accessed outside of this class. Now moving on, in above example, Aditya managed stealing 4 wheels successfully from our metro. Because our classes were not designed intelligent enough, so now we will define our class like the way anybody cannot harm outside the class of its member function. So now we have defined similar fashion class vehicle, then we have kept one variable as private var wheels. This is one of the member of our class which has been defined as private. Then we will define one function called add wheels. So anybody can add number of wheels in it. It will take some byte value and it will add in the count of wheels. So now next day when Aditya came to our metro for cleaning his stuff, he cannot steal, but same time if he realizes his mistake, he can add us back the stolen wheels. Will he add those wheels back? You can comment on this video with your reasons. If yes, why? If not, then why not? So moving on, since long I'm telling that function parameters cannot be reassigned, so let's check that as well. I'm defining a function here called add wheels, which you have seen earlier. and it is actually returning nothing. It is having a side effect, and we are reassigning value b is equal to 1. So now Scala will say reassignment to variable is an error. Now we can define above function add views with concise way without writing any curly braces. So here I'm defining the same class with same member functions, and here after unit is equal to, I have removed the curly braces and the whole logic I have written in one liner. Wheel plus is equal to b. So in theory we have seen how to define classes and its private member functions and how to work with them. Now it's time to do some exercise. To do some coding, the first thing we need is Scala REPL. So once we type Scala, it will show us the welcome message with its version, and it's ready to serve us. Since we have seen first example with empty class, so I'll write the same. And Scala defined us the empty class. In order to create object for this class, we need to write with new keyword and then the same class name. So this will get us this object. Now we will try to define the same class with some member in it. So here we are defining vehicle class, and its member called wheels is equal to 4 by default. Scala successfully created this vehicle class. Now we will define two objects of this class. First called car, next called metro. Now Aditya will come. Now we will assign metro.wheels is equal to 300, since our metro train required 300 of wheels. Now Aditya will come and he will try to steal 4 wheels out of it. And our class do not have any issue with it. It's completely fine because we have not designed our class intelligent way. So now we will mark these wheels as private member of our class, and when next day Aditya came with the idea of stealing 4 new wheels, he defined the vehicle object the same. He tried to change the vehicle count from 296 earlier to 292 now. So now our Scala is telling him that he cannot access the member of this class because we have defined this class with private members now. Just to add more functionality in this class, we are having few member functions. This is coming from the previous one, wheels, and here we are having one new member function called add wheels. And this is private and this is public and this is default in Scala. So that means anybody can add wheels, but nobody can change the value of wheels which has been added. So now our vehicle class has been created. Now since long I was telling you all that once your function has been defined with parameters, we cannot reassign the value. So let's check that logic as well, whether it's work or not. So here I'm defining one function, add wheels, and I'm trying to reassign the value in this b, which we have passed as a parameter here. So let's see. Okay, so it shows us the error reassignment to val. So that means by default, whatever parameter we pass in our functions, they have got immutability in nature. That means they are val type. Now we can write the same above class in more concise way. And when I say concise way, I basically meant about this function. So we are writing this class vehicle, then we are having member variable, then we are having member functions, and I have removed all the curly braces which we were using earlier, and I have wrapped all the code in one statement itself. And our class has been successfully defined. So now we have learned how to define classes in Scala. I hope you enjoyed my video today. Please subscribe to this channel if you want notification of my next video, which I will prepare on objects. Thank you very much. Have a good day.